Thank you very much, Evan. Appreciate that very kind introduction. I'll send you the e-transfer after. But first and foremost, I just want to thank everyone that's here today. Just acknowledge off the top the incredible work that each and every single one of you are doing. But really want to first acknowledge the support for the charity work that's happening here today, Face the Future Foundation. Evan was just giving me a bit of background on the important work they do to support children in Africa, people in Africa. So all of you here today, Foremost Capital as well, for taking that initiative, I think is really important, and we should always acknowledge that, and we should always do what we can to support those who need it. But I'm also here today, obviously, as a representative of the government to talk a bit more about not only some of the challenges we face, but also some of the opportunity that is before us. You know, as probably one of the younger members in our government's cabinet, as one of the members who can probably relate most to some of the challenges of millennials within government, home ownership is something that is becoming too much of a dream, I think, across Canada, specifically Ontario. And it's been something that our government has really been focused on making sure that we can change for future generations. And I think it's probably, we can all agree, one of the most important investments we'll make. It's one of the most important pieces of real estate one can own. It's probably the most important decision you make in your entire life. But we're seeing all too often that whether it's new Canadians that come to this country, whether it's the current generation, or you're just priced out of a market. So as a government, we've really come forward to say that we need to make some transformative change within housing policy, and really move the needle forward. You've probably heard a lot about some of the changes that we've made recently, but this goes back about 4 years. We've introduced a piece of legislation almost every single year that we've been in government. Almost 7 pieces of legislation focused primarily around housing. And we have a very, I think, attainable goal over the next 10 years, 1.5 million houses. But in order to do that, we need everybody to work together with us. We need to be transformative in the way we think. We need to change the way policy, to change the way housing is developed. We need to reduce the red tape that is involved in building houses and making that dream more attainable. So you've seen some of the bills that we put back for this week. We believe that cities that are growing should have the opportunity to grow, whether they want to build single-family homes, townhomes, purpose-built rentals, condominiums. We're focused around building growth around transit-oriented communities. We put forward a significant plan that deals with that, that entices that. And we're really actually excited about the support that we've gotten over the past couple of weeks and months about that ambitious goal. Nothing can be done without really pushing forward the message of change, and we're committed to that. But we still know that there's quite a bit of work that we still have to do, and that's where we rely on the people, some of you in this room who have we've met before, chatted before. I know Evan has been, and his team has been at the forefront of some of the work that the government is doing. But we truly will rely on many of you to advise us, inform us of how can we attain the goal of 1.5 million houses over the next 10 years. And it's something that we need to do. We still have a supply crisis in this province. Let's get as many homes built as quickly as possible, because we have other factors as well. As you heard the federal government announce that they're increasing immigration targets to almost 500,000 a year. All of those people will need a place to live in this country. Primarily, every single one of those, about 60% of them we know will end up in Ontario. So as a province, we have an even bigger agenda and goal to ensure that we get those homes and houses built. So we'll continue to look forward to the industry. We'll continue to look forward to stakeholders, those who want to be able to purchase a home, buy a home, and give us those ideas. Give us what we need to do to help establish the 1.5 million goal that we have set out. And we think it's to everyone's betterment, whether it be the economic, the social, or just having the dream of a home ownership being so much more attainable again. So I just want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank Evan and the team once again for having me here today. And our office, our government, always open to hearing any ideas, any comments on whether it's the legislation we put forward, what we can do in the future, and how we can build more homes and houses in this province over the next 10 years. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for having me. Sure.
I think we can have a couple minutes for questions. If anybody has.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. We've taken a lot of measures just in the last 2 to 3 years, but even as recently as about a month ago through a fall economic statement. One of the programs that we've introduced is there's generally been a stigma around the trades in high school, especially as you try to develop through grade 9 and 10, 11, 12. One of the things that we're introducing, piloting, is basically allowing you to complete your high school degree after grade 10, and also having the ability to almost work full-time as a trades individual. So we're kind of piloting some new programs. We put forward $100+ million skills development fund where we fund specific training of skilled trades that are needed, not only through the college system, but through apprenticeships and through other joint partnerships, whether it be builders, whether it be the unions like LIUNA. They've been incredible in trying to support that. So we're coming up with a variety of approaches. We've also asked the federal government to increase our allotment of how we can control immigration in the province. Obviously, immigration is a federal issue. However, the province gets about 7,000 skilled immigrants that we can nominate. We've asked that to be almost doubled. So we have more control of being able to select people from countries that have the specific trades that we need to match the skills shortage that we're seeing in the province. Right now we have almost 300,000 vacancies across the province. Many of those are in skilled trades. So we've got a lot of work to do on that. We've got to ensure that our institutions are also training people for the jobs of the future and where those gaps exist. So it's a whole of a government approach, whether it be through our post-secondary college institutions, whether it be through our labor ministry, skills training and development, whether it be through the immigration side. So we're trying to take a whole of government approach to ensure that we can match that gap that's currently existing today. Yeah, that's a great question. We're really going to try to focus in on, there's macroeconomic factors that play into, the price of housing in general. Interest rates, of course, are very topical right now, and many families are feeling the stretch of that. But from our perspective, it's what we can control within government policy at the provincial level. We know that there's been a significant issue with respect to supply in this province. So we've got to figure out a way, and what we've been trying to do over the past couple of months and years is how do we entice more supply onto the market? How do we get projects off the ground as quick as possible? So our solution to what we can control from provincial policy is very much limited to that supply element. And that's why you've seen some fairly bold steps that the government has taken to ensure that the supply of homes increases. From perspective of other elements that go into the cost of a home, whether it be the development charges. You've seen some changes that have been put forward by our government in this recent bill. Labor has been a significant issue in the cost of housing recently. How do we train more people? Because if you look at what you used to pay maybe 5 or 7 years ago compared to what we pay today, and we're a very high inflationary period. We've got to be able to do what we can to control the elements within that aspect. So we can't control the entire equation, but we have committed to doing what we can from a supply, from a labor, and even some DC issues that we think will really help us spur more growth across the province. Yeah, unfortunately.
I just want to take a sec to thank Prav for coming, because he is under a lot of time pressure. You really didn't hesitate as soon as you heard it was for charity. I appreciate it, and really you're working for the benefit of everybody in this room every day, so we appreciate it. As a small token of our appreciation, I want to present you with this book. Actually, it was one of the best reads of 2021 for me, so I should highly encourage anybody who hasn't taken a copy to take a copy. Some great lessons in that book. And again, Prav, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.